What's up, dudes? Okay, I'm gonna take a break from my crazy to-do list back here and show you guys how I create band t-shirts. Let's do this. Okay, step one, we're gonna jump into Photoshop, create a new file. I usually work at 12 by 16 inches, 300 DPI. That's my sort of standard t-shirt size. That can vary though. But we're going to jump into Photoshop and do a few sketches to start things off. Let's go.
Staring at the edge of everything I've ever seen, wondering where I've been and where I'll go. The hardest part is knowing there's a fire still lurking in me, burning ever toward that final cold. Will I find another piece of my mind is come unglued? Or will I see there's still hope there for me as I turn my gaze to you? The spark we leave here will burn on through the breeze as we spread our fire to you. Carry on my child and don't you worry about what they say. I've seen a million people come and go. All I've ever wanted was for you to seize the day, regardless of your fear of the unknown.
So my best friend Brandon, his band Rusalka just released their first EP, so I wanted to surprise him by making a shirt. So I've sketched these 6 ideas. The EP kind of has this watery vibe, so I tried to incorporate that idea into the designs. And usually at this point is when I would send the sketches over to the client and have them pick whatever designs they wanted. But in this case, since I'm surprising him, I'm just gonna do the one I want, which is number 3, the little eel going through the skull. The next step number 2, is to actually draw the design. So let's jump back into Photoshop and draw it up.
Burn on child and leave your mark on this world like I taught you. 'Cause now I see there's still hope there for me as I turn my gaze to you. The spark we leave here will burn on through the breeze as we spread our fire to you. Now I see there's still hope there for me as I turn my gaze to you. The spark we leave here will burn on through the breeze as we spread our fire to you.
Alright dudes, so we have the design all inked up and drawn in Photoshop. I just used a really simple round brush, nothing fancy here. And now it's time for step 3, where we add the band name. I'm going to copy the line art of the design into Illustrator because it's a lot easier to adjust type and all that stuff in Illustrator. So we're going to copy this line art in there, put the band name up at the top, make it real nice and clear. You know, these guys are kind of a newer band, so I want the band name to really be the focus of this design. So it goes up at the top, super clear, stretches all the way across. So yeah, step 3, let's jump into Illustrator and get the type all figured out.
Beckoning from underneath the blanket of the sea, she whispers promises of peaceful sleep.
Alright, got the type all figured out in Illustrator, brought it back into Photoshop, and realized that there was a giant hole at the top left of the design. So where the skull kind of comes down, there's all this empty space. So now I'm going to go back and basically redraw the design, fix the layout. I want to sort of, I think, make the eel go across the top, so you sort of follow the eel across the band name, and I think that'll look a lot better. It'll make the design a lot more solid and flow better. Okay, anyway, we're going to jump back into Photoshop and completely redraw this thing. So step 4, I guess, is to redraw the design. Let's do this.
Deep inside, I sense that I won't rest until this dream is over with and done. Sinking, I reach out to the sun, and with her song, she drags me far beneath. I watch my shadow play quietly underneath the bed of the sea. I watch my shadow play quietly underneath the bed of the sea. Further down, I hear a sound grow louder as we sing. She catches my expression with a frown. In my eyes, she sees the lies we tell ourselves to be. If none of this is real, how did it lose all its appeal? She just laughs at my shadow as it quietly graves. She just laughs at my shadow as it silently fades. Harken to that haunting sound, abandoned ship we're going down. Harken to that haunting sound, abandoned ship we're going down. Harken to that haunting sound, abandoned ship we're going down. Harken to that haunting sound, abandoned ship we're going down. Oh, oh,
Okay guys, design's all redrawn now, relaid out. The design fits a lot better with the type, and I sort of realized that I should have taken that very initial sketch and put that into Illustrator, figured out the type first, and then sort of drawn the design. So this sort of thing happens all the time. You know, sometimes you just have to redraw stuff. That's part of the process. Now we're going to move on to the next step, which I think the super fun part, I'm going to distress and add texture all over this design. I'm not going to explain how I do this a lot. There's a bunch of designers that do this sort of thing. You can find all sorts of tutorials. There's an amazing band t-shirt designer named Brandon Reich, who I think it's a Skillshare class. I'll link it down in the description below. Talks all about how to add texture and stuff to a design. I have stolen his methods, but that's what we're going to do right now. So step 5, are we on step 5, is to add distress and texture to the t-shirt. Let's jump back into Photoshop and get that done. So now technically the design is done. I was planning on keeping this design as a one color, just white on black, super straightforward rock and roll punk rock design, but I decided to add this sort of green color. So now it's a 2-color design. I think it helps the eel pop out more. You can read the band name a lot clearer now, and it just gives a little bit more dimension to the design. So 2-color design now. Green and white on black. Now the 6th and final step, step number 6 is to mock it up. So I purchased this huge pack of really nice t-shirt mock-ups, all different kinds of t-shirts, just your standard short sleeve, long sleeve, hoodie, crew neck, kids t-shirts, all kinds of mock-ups. I'm gonna try and find that and put a link in the description. It's pricey, but if this is something that you're doing as a job, I think being able to mock up your t-shirts on whatever kind of bodies that you want is super important. And I always send mock-ups so a client can see exactly how the design is gonna look on the exact t-shirt that they want. So final step number 6 is to mock up the t-shirt. Let's jump back into Photoshop and finish this sucker up. Alright dudes, that's it. All done with the design. T-shirt's all mocked up. I have another file that's the separations, so for screen printing you have to have each color on its own layer. Since this is a 2-color design, it's super straightforward, easy separations. The green's on one layer, the white's on another layer, there's a black background, simple as that. So when I send them the files, they'll get the separated file and then the mock-up file, and they'll be good to go. Okay, I want to give a huge shout out to Brandon, my best bud Brandon, and his band Rezalka. I'm super proud of those dudes for recording and putting out this new EP. All the music you've heard in this video is their band. That's going to be the first link in the description below, is their SoundCloud with the new EP. Definitely go check it out. Show those guys some love, because the new music is awesome. So hope they dig this t-shirt design, hope they like the surprise, and hope you guys enjoyed watching me design this stuff. I know I didn't explain too much, but I just wanted to give my sort of process for how I go about designing these things, not give all the details and what I'm actually doing. But if you have any questions about what I did along the way, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to answer it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome, productive week, and I'll catch you later. arm. My arm is so tired from holding the camera up. Bye, guys.